So before we begin, I would just like to thank all the fans out there who have given us our most views on our most recent episode, 80 views. Thank you so much for everyone who's watching. We couldn't do this without you guys. Anything you guys want to say to the fans before we begin?
We appreciate it. But we just getting started.
Facts. Gio?
That was nicely put. So just getting started. More to come.
All right. Secondly, obviously, yesterday was Kobe's birthday. Happy belated birthday to Kobe Bryant, and today is 8/24. So happy Kobe Day to everybody. Mamba out. And anything you guys want to say about Kobe Bryant? Any tributes?
I'll let you go first, Jeff.
I don't know. I'm excited for me personally being a sneakerhead. Excited for more Nike Kobe's coming out, especially since Vanessa Bryant and Kobe's Estate made a deal with Nike earlier this year, saying they're going to develop and create more Nike Kobe's, right? And although DeMar DeRozan's not going to be the face of it per se, he's going to be the leader in promoting the Nike Kobe line here on out, and it's going to be great to see.
Facts. Kobe really changed the game. As much as he changed it on the court, everything off the court changed it drastically with that mentality. And I feel like the only way to do it on Kobe Day is for everyone to name their favorite Kobe moment. Who would like to start?
Well, I already got one on the top of my head. That's got to be easy for me. That's his retirement game. Greatest retirement game in the history of the NBA, 60 points. Can't go out a better way than that.
Sure. Gio, would you like me to go next, or you?
Go ahead.
My favorite moment from Kobe has to be when him and Shaq were teammates. Shaq fouls out, and then Kobe says, "Yeah, I got it." Wins that game.
Yeah.
Lakers go on to win the finals.
I will also say, speaking of Shaq, when Shaq talked to Kobe saying like you need to pass the ball, there's no I on team, but Kobe said, yeah, but there's an Emmy in that bleep.
There's a me in that.
Shaq said, yeah, he ain't passing, just get a rebound.
How knows best.
Facts. All right, Gio.
For me, right, it's got to be the 09 season, right? To come back after losing against the Celtics, to run it back to the finals, and obviously they didn't play the Celtics; they played the Orlando Magic and Dwight Howard that year, but they still went back to the finals, and it showed that because after that loss, right, he went into a mode where he wasn't talking to anybody; he was just working on his game, right? And to me, that season was critical. That time off between the 08-09 season and the 09-10 season, right, was critical, and just showed that you can just work through anything and then win a championship at the end of it.
Very true. I'll just wrap it up by saying, in my opinion, the best Laker to ever do it, 5-time NBA champion, and top 2 shooting guard, I will say. I know Sam's got something to say about D Wade.
Yeah, I want to say it, but I feel like I can't joke about it on Kobe Day.
That's true. And you know it's true. But moving on to the NBA, obviously some big news yesterday as Kevin Durant did withdraw his trade request, which ultimately means that they are going to run it back with the Nets. They meaning Kyrie and Kevin Durant, because Kyrie's not leaving as long as KD is there. So anything you guys have to say, like what this means to the league? What do you guys think?
What it means is that it's just going to be a running back year now. It kind of ruins the Lakers' hopes, I would say. It's good for Brooklyn, so they don't have to completely restart. But I feel like overall, towards the league, it's kind of negative. Yeah.
Gio?
So for me, right, it's got to be good and bad at the same time. One aspect of it, right, it's bad for the Nets, I think, just because you don't have that trust with Kevin Durant. You don't have that trust with Kyrie Irving, right? Then you're left with Ben Simmons knowing he doesn't know what to do, right? So he doesn't know who to trust, doesn't know what to do. Obviously, he doesn't know how to shoot. So you're just left with a whole drama aspect of it, especially since if you're Steve Nash and you're the coach, you don't know what to do after this because you can't trust anybody. There's going to be no team chemistry because everyone's for themselves, it seems like. Although everyone's saying they're going to the conference finals or to the championship, I personally don't think they're going to do that. I think they're either going to be a first round or second round bust just because of the talent on that team. They might get through the first round, but chemistry, working together, just like the Warriors, just like the Celtics, how they work together, you need that in order to move on in the playoffs, and they don't have that, at least right now. We'll see what happens in the season if they can regain that trust. But it's also good in an aspect, right? Because Kevin Durant just signed a 4-year contract. He hasn't played a single day on that contract. If you allow a superstar like that to move without playing to get that bag, right? Just like Kyrie wanted that extension, so then he could ask for that trade, move to Los Angeles, right? That's my guess on why he wanted the bag. Not allowing Kevin Durant to move puts the NBA's foot down really in an aspect, so that players do not have that much control in saying, okay, I'm going to take this contract and move elsewhere. So I like it. I like that Kevin Durant staying in that aspect of it. So.
Yeah, that's very true. I didn't think about that. Yeah, I also think it's good and bad. Obviously, it's good for the Nets because Kevin Durant is one of the best players in the NBA, whether you like him or not. You
Right.
can't debate that. So not having to trade him is a big win for them. But like Gio said, the trust isn't there, so that's a big issue. But the reason I don't see him going far in the playoffs is not because of the players, it's because of the coach. I just don't trust Steve Nash.
No, why do you not trust Steve Nash at this point, though? Is it because of him and his coaching ability? Or is it the fact that KB wanted him gone that you don't trust him?
Well, it's one, Katie did want him gone, yeah. And two, he can't coach. Like it's kind of obvious.
So I agree with that. I don't think he's a very good coach. But I think it's even worse now having a bad coach and having all this turmoil
Yeah.
in the organization
Well,
between
not
the
to mention
players.
that Kevin Durant did want the GM gone too.
Yeah, so it's just a whole bad thing where everyone's just not happy. It looks.
Yeah.
It's
I
gonna
mean,
be interesting.
we'll see how it plays out, but if they start losing, I wouldn't be surprised if Kyrie goes to LA midseason.
Do you see KD getting traded though? Mid-season?
I think their best shot was to do it in the offseason because they have the most time in the offseason. The trade deadline is only so large that they wouldn't be able to gauge like what they can get back for Kevin Durant.
Thanks.
Gio, I saw you shaking your head. You got something to say?
Yeah, I understand your guys' aspect where you guys are coming from for Steve Nash. The thing is, for me, these types of coaches that are put into these scenarios don't always end up looking like a great coach, right?
Yeah,
For me,
but
the
I mean,
last
you
one
could
I
say though,
remember,
I was just saying you could say that the first couple of years he wasn't put in a bad scenario though.
well, it's a bad scenario because you have all these expectations, right?
Okay, yeah.
His first year as a coach, you have Kyrie Irving, you have Kevin
Kevin Durant.
Durant, DeAndre Jordan, right? And a lot of side pieces because that team before, remember, they went to the playoffs with
Yeah, and
D'Angelo Russell.
they were an inch away from conference finals.
Exactly, right? And then to pretty much just add Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, you expect them to make the finals, if not win the finals. So there's that. And you add Steve Kerr as the coach. You have all these expectations. And then as the coach, you're blamed for all the mistakes and for the losses. The last great coach I've seen end up with a bad scenario because of all the expectations is Ty Lue, right? With LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love, Ty Lue did obviously win a championship, and he's shown out after the fact without LeBron James that he can be a great coach without a superstar or without 3 superstars, right? 2 superstars. For me, I think Steve Nash could have been a great coach. I still think he will be. It's the fact that he was put into this scenario that made him look like he wasn't a good coach. The only reason why I don't think people think he's a great coach is the fact that it's not the fact that he can coach, it's the fact that accountability, right? That's what we say about a lot of these coaches is that they can keep the players accountable and hold them accountable. So I think once Steve Kerr can hold his players accountable, he will show up to be a great coach.
That's fair. I will agree to disagree because it just seems like Steve Nash isn't like he can't hold his players accountable. So
Right.
he's already lost his players' trust. If you lose your players' trust, you're not going to be a good coach. So I think it's just best for both parties to move on. Not now since it's almost close to the season, but if this year isn't a winning season, I think they got to move on.
Fair. Now I'm gonna add this though. Do you think it's Steve Nash's fault that he's not in with the team, or is it more so KD thinking he is le GM like LeBron that can just change a whole organization?
I will say it's both Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. They both think that.
Agree.
So I don't know if we could put too much. Like I understand what Jay was saying with it. Like I get it. Like I get that. But at the same time, I also agree with Jake that like the coaching fundamentals aren't really there. Certain times in the playoffs, I would have liked to seen different things happen than what Steve Nash did. But at the same time, it's very difficult to try to tell Kevin Durant to do something when Kevin Durant thinks he is top dog.
Yeah, that's true. I'm just comparing this to like the Lakers with Frank Vogel this past season. It's kind of like that.
I can see that. Yeah, that's like a very. But I feel like even then, I feel like LeBron's been there, done that. Where I think LeBron will listen to a coach more than Kevin Durant is right now.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, so what is the bust for Brooklyn this year? Like, where do they have to get to try to re-up it?
I mean, if you look at the talent, I would say it's championship or bust. But based on the coaching and like the situation they have, I will lower it to conference finals.
Gio, what you think on that?
For me, I would not lower it. I think just like LeBron James, even though he went to the finals with Miami, even though he went to the finals with Cleveland, he left both times when he lost. I think Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, I think the owner, right, the general manager, all those guys told those two, give us 1 year, run it back with this team, with Ben Simmons, and win a championship. If we do not win a championship, you guys can go wherever you want. I think that's what's going to happen.
Well, the reason I say conference finals, though, is because if you look at teams like the Nets and the Sixers, they just haven't got past the first and second round in years. So that's why I'm saying conference finals for now.
But it is with that squad, though. It's not like Phoenix Suns team, right, who hasn't been to the finals in forever, who hasn't won a championship in forever. They went to the finals one time in 2021, I believe, right?
And they won.
And they didn't
win.
they
lost,
Right, yeah, they didn't win. So I think for that type of squad, just having CP3 and Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton, a couple young guys, and then a great veteran, they weren't supposed to go to the finals. I don't think they were supposed to win it per se, right? So it was a shock, and everyone was grateful as a Phoenix Sun fan or part of that organization. I think with the squad you have here in Brooklyn, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and Ben Simmons, possibly one of the best scorers of all time, one of the best shiftiest players of all time, who both of those guys end up in the clutch and can perform in the clutch. And then you have Defensive Player of the Year, one of the top defensive dogs in the NBA, Ben Simmons. So I think it is championship or bust with those three guys.
It's fair.
Sorry.
No, go ahead. I was just gonna say that's fair.
I also agree that it's championship or not, or blow it up. I think they've already had so many problems so far that I understand they want to stay in contention because like it'll bring in revenue, and having Kyrie and KD will do that too. But at some point, not all publicity is good publicity. So having like all of this bad stuff going on, I feel like if they can get a championship, it'll kind of tame the players, and then they'll kind of fall in line and they'll try to re-up it. But I think if they don't hit the champion, or if they don't even at least make the finals, I'll say finals. I think KD is gonna get to like I feel like KD's gonna bring up the fact that he wanted a new GM and a new coach that could potentially have brought them over the edge. And I think that's gonna be a big thing, and that's where Brooklyn just has to let them go.
Yeah, and not to mention, if they don't win the championship, Kyrie's a free agent. He can walk for free.
Right.
Yep.
So, I mean, yeah, I think it is championship or bust for them, but we'll see what happens. I don't think they will win the championship just because of the situation and the coaching. I agree with Gio. I see him going out in the first or second round again, but we'll see what happens.
They could make the Eastern Conference Finals though. They could make it.
They could, but I need to see how they gel first, like Gio said, because this situation did not help their chemistry whatsoever. And not to mention, they did not play with Ben Simmons one bit last year.
Right.
It's a long
Here's another
season,
thing, right? Oh, go
What's
ahead.
up?
I just said it's a long season though. You never know.
Yeah,
It is.
But go
that's
ahead, Jay.
true.
But here's another thing. Just like in the last podcast, right? When I was saying how the Cavs could possibly make it to the conference finals or the finals or whatever the conversation might be, you guys blasted me and saying how great the Eastern Conference was, right? If you do not have the chemistry and you do not have the team cohesion that you need in order to go to the finals or the conference finals, those top dogs in the East will eat you alive, right? Like you guys said, you had the 76ers, you had Boston, and you got
Bucks,
Miami. Those three teams alone
Milwaukee.
will eat you alive if you don't have team cohesion. And then you also have Milwaukee Bucks with Giannis Antetokounmpo, possibly the best player in the league, right?
Yeah.
So
I will also say that you need a deep bench in the East. One other thing the Nets don't
Right.
have.
exactly.
Fair. But they're just so good. I think of injury, it's gonna have to be luck, a lot of luck for them to get that far. I think it's most likely they get knocked out in the second round by a Milwaukee Bucks or a Miami Heat, Celtics, Sixers. I don't know.
I mean, we could give them the benefit of the doubt for last year, though, because obviously Kyrie Irving missed like half the season with his unvaccination crap. So, I mean, the chemistry wasn't there. Maybe they've been putting in work behind the scenes. I know Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving have. I don't know about Ben Simmons, but we'll just have to wait and see what happens.
Even with that though, even if it was KD and Kyrie putting in work, there's no way as a whole team they were putting in work
No.
because they all thought KD and Kyrie were both out.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. Go ahead, Gio.
Here's my question to you guys. What are the field goal attempts going to be made by Ben Simmons in his first game back? You say it's going to be more than 10?
No.
More than 5?
I'm going to
That's the
say
thing. He doesn't score.
I'm going to say he's going to get a few layups and a few alley-oops. So I'm going to go 7 for 10.
Okay.
I don't think that by any means. I think he goes 4 for 6. Also, just getting layups and alley-oops, but
Right.
I just think 7 for 10 because I think it's going to be his first game as a net, and Kyrie and Kevin Durant are going to want to see what he can do, give him the ball more than they usually would.
even then, I don't even know if he's gonna like
He's
play
not gonna-
aggressive in
right.
transition.
He's not going to attempt the shot, right?
No,
You
he's
can
not
give
going
him
to
the
shoot.
ball.
He's not going to shoot a three or a jumper. No.
No, but he's not. I don't even think he's going to attempt a shot, like drive into the lane. I think once he drives in or once he gets the pass, he's going to pass it right back or pass it to another player. I don't think he's going to actually attempt a shot.
I think he'll be more aggressive than he was on the Sixers, personally.
I would hope so. They need it.
I think that he's going to shut the haters up in the first game because he's sick of hearing it. That's what I would do if I were him.
If he makes a 3-pointer or 2 3-pointers, I would be shocked.
Yeah, I'm not saying shooting, but I'm saying he's going to be aggressive.
But that would shut them up for
like
just making 2 3-pointers. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm hoping he comes out aggressive, but I don't see it happening. I think Ben Simmons is going to think I'm with one of the 2 best shot creators and scorers in the league. So why would I take any shots? Let me just give it back to them and let them do some work. So I think he's only going to make buckets if it's open or if he has like a 1-man fast break.
Yeah, that's true. Also, he's more of a win now player. So like whatever he has to do to win, he's going to do it whether he scores or not.
Right.
So, I mean, we'll see how the fit is. I think it's going to be a good fit defensively, but we'll remain to see offensively.
Quick question though: do you guys see Ben Simmons playing the point or the 4?
That's a good question.
Because even with Harden, Kyrie played the 2.
Right.
Yeah, I think they are going to start with Simmons at the point and Kyrie at the 2. But if they do run it at like a 4 shortage, they know that they can put Ben Simmons there. Gio, what do you think?
Oh, you, Jeff?
Oh, I honestly think they're gonna do exactly what you said, right? Start them at the point, and then it's gonna be weird because it's positionless basketball now, right?
Yeah,
Where you're gonna have Joe Harris as well.
that's true.
I'm guessing in the starting lineup. So you got Ben Simmons, Kyrie Irving, Joe Harris.
You could put Cam Thomas maybe.
Right, and then you got KG and Claxton. Right,
Yeah.
Those are your 5. That's a weird lineup for me, just offensively and defensively as well. Just because you have 2 small, I personally feel like you have 2 smaller guys, and Joe Harris and Kyrie Irving. So
yeah, and that's why I feel like they might put Cam Thomas in there for his defensive abilities.
Right.
Personally, I think offensively, Ben Simmons is going to play the 1. But even then, I think it's going to be like split time. So him taking up the court. Actually, I have him majority playing the 4. But still getting like point guard plays while playing the 4.
It's kind of like LeBron and the Lakers.
Yeah, that like. Except I don't see him playing point as much as LeBron. I see more KD or Kyrie.
Yeah, because why would you give him the ball if you got those 2?
Yeah. But I think defensively, I think they make him guard up the 4 unless they're playing a really good point guard. Then I think he locks him up.
Yeah, I think they're just going to give him the best player because he's their best defender.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. I mean, it's a whole situation. I'm shocked that Kevin Durant even withdrew his trade request.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was a thing. Like,
Yeah, me either. I mean, credit to the Nets for talking to him and like working this thing out, but it's just gonna be crazy.
Yep.
Because I feel like if they start losing, Kevin Durant's be like, "Remember when I requested a trade? I'll do it again."
That's what I'm saying. He might request a trade like a quarter of the season in.
Right? Because if they start like on a losing streak, I wouldn't be surprised if he's like, "Nah, trade me."
Yeah, like I think even if they're not in the top 4 seed by like a quarter of the season, like 20 games in, I think he might just be like, yeah, nah, we tried this for a little bit, I'm out.
Yeah. And then after he's gone, Kyrie's like, "He's gone? All right, I'm out too."
Yeah, exactly. Like, what you think on that, Gia?
I would have to agree with you guys, but here's another big name that nobody's mentioning. Although he it seems like he doesn't make that big of a difference on that team is Blake Griffin.
I
He's
feel like
supposed to
Blake doesn't get enough playing time to make
right,
an impact.
right, but if he did, he would make a huge impact. And that's why losing him, I feel like, is so dangerous because once he signs with another team, because he is supposed to, get a buyout by the Nets, then possibly sign with the Los Angeles Clippers, right? Go back there. And if he goes back there with that stacked squad with John Wall, Kawhi Leonard, PG-13, Serge Ibaka, then adding Blake Griffin, that's a dangerous lineup. And for me, I think that if you do add Blake Griffin to that squad, they're going deeper than without him. So,
That's fair. I will say Ibaka's on the Bucks though. He got traded last
oh
year.
right, that's correct. It's not Serge. It's Nicholas Batum. My
Zubac.
bad.
It's a Zubac who they have.
Well, I was thinking of Nicholas Batum or Serge Ibaka. They kind of have the
Oh,
same
yeah.
playing style, playing role. So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Blake just needs the chances because you saw what he did in the playoffs.
right.
Yeah, the playoffs against the Celtics, he came in, hit a few threes,
Mhm.
got their energy back.
Right.
But I mean, I will say he was getting gassed a little fast, so got to get the conditioning in.
That was so weird to hear the Los Angeles Clippers out loud.
Facts.
I always say LA Clippers.
But yeah, that's crazy.
It just threw me off. I was like,
But in other NBA news, Chet Holmgren and LeBron James did play in the Pro-Am crossover. First play of the game, LeBron went at Chet. Guess what happened to Chet? Snapped his ankle. So there's looking like there's torn ligament damage in the ankle. He's getting farther opinions right now. This is why personally, if I was the GM, I wouldn't let my star player, especially if it's a rookie that young who's like my future, I would not let him play in a game like that. But he did. This happened. What do you guys have to say about it?
yes, I saw that video. It, I understand Chet wanting to play. And,
Since it was
I can
LeBron, yeah.
I can see like the pros to him playing in that game, like getting NBA adequate already.
Yeah.
But at the same time, having Chet be so fragile, and like with hindsight now, it was not worth it to get him hurt.
No.
If I was like the team before that game, I don't know what I would have decided. I think I would have played it safe and said no to him playing, but I can see both sides.
That's fair. Gio?
For me, it's very easy. I like seeing these guys play, right? One, this was an issue I had with Chet, and that's why I wouldn't have taken him so highly in the NBA draft. Is because he's not NBA ready. Going against LeBron James at 20%. LeBron was probably running, going
5
through
miles per hour, I would say.
Yeah, but he's going through the movements. It's not like he's going in like he would in an NBA game.
No,
right?
not at all.
And that's against LeBron James, like I said, at 20%. Imagine some of these guys in the NBA going at him that aren't LeBron James, right? Like a Joel Embiid, heavier, bigger, right? A
Giannis.
monster in the paint. Giannis.
Maybe
You could
maybe
even
not
say
as big as LeBron, right?
right.
But he is as strong as LeBron, I would say.
I will say also a healthy Zion. He's going to destroy Chet.
Right. And he's going to get injured. I feel like he's going to become, I hope this doesn't happen. But what I think is going to happen, right? So he's going to become injury prone because he's not NBA ready. He needs to gain size. He needs to become NBA ready, or else this is going to keep happening to him in his NBA career.
I agree. I mean, I was happy to see LeBron and Chet and all these guys in the Pro-Am crossover. It's cool to see. But obviously injuries do happen. It's very unfortunate for Chet and the Thunder. Hopefully it's nothing too serious where he doesn't miss too much time. Luckily, there's a lot of time before the season, so hopefully he can heal up and be ready for the opener. But yeah, going off what Gio said, this just proves to me that he is not even close to NBA ready. LeBron probably going 15%, running 5 miles per hour, as you just steps on your foot and you get hurt. I I mean, that's eye-opening to me if I'm the Thunder.
Someone we mentioned earlier that could potentially be a matchup for Chet. A little bowling ball, Zion Williamson. Going one-on-one with Chet.
Bro, he would bully him.
Zion's like 6'6", like 250 pure muscle.
Literally.
And like, oh my God.
And you saw what Zion did in Summer League. Kevin Knox stole that ball.
Like, bro. But yeah, it is very eye-opening. But at least my boy Lou Dort and Shea get to shine a little bit more. Baisley gets to get a little bit more playing time. Happy about that. But it just sucks when injuries happen.
Facts, especially in the offseason. But like I said, hopefully it's nothing too serious and he can be back for the opener.
Do they know what ligament it is or not yet?
They don't know yet. He's getting further testing.
Okay. I hope it's not too bad where it's like, I don't even know ankle ligaments. Like if it's
No. I mean, luckily there's still like 2 months before the season, so it shouldn't, even if it's 2 months, he should be ready.
does OKC play more cautious now though?
I mean, yeah, that's true. Because they do know he's their future, basically.
What you think on that, Gia?
Well, I just got two things real quick. For me, that was probably a freak accident, right? I'm not blaming it on his size, but I think his size will contribute to more injuries down the road because of how big some of these NBA players are, like we mentioned. If I'm OKC, I'm getting him on that Charles Barkley meal plan. Get him as big as possible, get him as strong as possible, and keeping intact his skill level and his shot. Because once he gains that size, I think he'll be a great threat in the NBA, a great star in the NBA. But if I'm OKC, that's all I'm hoping for. Getting him on that meal plan, getting him as big as possible, maybe asking Zion Williamson what he did in the offseason to get as big as he did back then, although he's looking pretty good now. It's just getting him that weight will help him with keeping him on the floor as long as possible.
Yeah, I agree. I was going to say something along the same lines. If I was OKC, I would just say once he's healthy, obviously, I'd just get him in the weight room ASAP and be like,
Right.
bro, you got to lift weights.
Lift weights, eat as much as possible, do whatever you can to gain that weight.
Yeah.
One person, I don't know about Zion helping Chet. But
I'll say
honestly,
Giannis.
Yeah.
Because you see how he was when he came in the league, just like Chet. And now look at him.
Yeah, I think getting that Giannis plan would be phenomenal for Chet.
Like, bro, yeah, literally, Giannis was built just like Chet. Skinny arms, everything. And now he's like jacked.
Yeah, facts.
But
And he's one of the top dogs.
Facts. So I
Another,
would say, yeah, just getting him on that like Giannis plan would be big for sure.
Nah.
another player, right, who doesn't go with what we say they need to do, Kevin Durant. He's quite skinny compared to most of these NBA players, and he's still his longevity's there, although he has been injury riddled the last couple of seasons. His longevity's been there. He's still skinny. He's still got the skill. So if Chet can talk to Kevin Durant and ask him how he's been able to stay so healthy throughout the league and throughout his career, I think would help him tremendously as well.
I think it's different with KD though.
Yeah, because Katie's not in the paint as much, doesn't have to be in the paint as much as Chet is going to have to be.
Do you think he's going to have to be in the paint?
Yes, he is their center, 100%.
And I think I think KD's lasted so long with that frame is because he can play more of like a guard forward,
Right,
where he doesn't have to
So
get back down by like Joel Embiid.
so why can't Chet do that?
I mean,
Who
he
would
can.
OKC's 5 feet? Sorry.
No, you're good. I mean, I was just gonna say he can, but like, I just don't think it's reaching his max potential like that. I would say.
But it might if he does end up being like Kevin Durant. Back in the day, they might have not said that Kevin Durant would have reached his max potential if he didn't gain weight.
That's true, but
So
I don't know. I feel like personally, I would rather see Chet in the paint, given his height and everything.
Do you know what Chet's best on defense at though?
yeah,
No.
he's
Go ahead,
blocking.
Gio. Yeah,
Yeah.
His shot blocking, rim protection. So I think that's why he's got to play the 5.
that's true.
I think offensively he'll be fine. He can play around the perimeter more because he's more of a spaced out big. But really defensively, they want him shot blocking and in the paint, which I think becomes the problem.
Yeah, I mean, I expect him to be out on the perimeter sometimes on offense. I don't expect him to be fully in the paint, but on defense, he's definitely going to be in the paint, 100%.
I just hope they do kind of like a Utah Jazz defense from last year,
Yeah,
where they just have Chet sit in the paint and let everything funnel into him, but he's not going to have that like NBA readiness yet.
no. But Nick did ask a question when I was talking. He said, "Who would the 5 be if Chet played like the 3 spot for OKC?" What do you say? What do you have to say about that, Gio? What do you think their 5 would be?
I would say right now,
Yeah.
have another losing season. Don't tank per se.
Okay.
Have another losing season.
Mhm.
You get a center in the draft because right now we saw last year they don't really have a big man. That's why they got Chet. Right?
Yeah.
So they could. I personally would have won Paolo just because of his size, and I think he is the most NBA ready in that draft. But
Well, he did go number 1, obviously. So
exactly. But I would have tried to trade up for that.
okay.
Yeah, I'm not too sure who would be their 5 per se, but I just think Chet would have the longevity, just like Kevin Durant, if he was playing at that 3 spot.
That's fair.
The question is, would you rather have Poku, that really tall, skinny dude,
Yeah.
play on the 5? Maybe Darius Baisley. Other than that, besides Chet, I have no idea who's not playing the 5.
No, and I would say even then, Baisley's more of a 3 anyway.
That kid wasn't that bad last year, was he?
No.
He was a better spot, I would say.
Right.
Yeah. And he
So I
was a
think
3.
he can develop, become a better 5.
Yeah, the Poku. Yeah, he was a good shooter too.
Right.
So
So we did have another cliffhanger, but we can't decide on who left us off with that cliffhanger. Was it me? Was it Jake? Or was it Nick being silent over there? So in the comments, tag below who you thought left the cliffhanger this time.
yeah, going off what I was saying, I'm sorry about the cliffhanger, but I was just gonna say that personally, I think Chet is best suited for the 5 rather than the 3, and Poku's better suited for the 4 than the 5.
I'd agree with that. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how OKC moves with it. I wouldn't be surprised if they played Chet before though this season, and then like kind of hold off on him playing the 5.
Who would you put at the 5 if they do that though?
I don't even
Because
know.
they have, if you look at the roster, they have no guaranteed center outside of Chet, I will say.
So I would say it would be Chet indefinitely, but knowing OKC and how they be moving, for all I know, they could throw Shea at the 5. They just be
That's
experimenting with everything and everyone.
I mean, that's very true. And also, like Gio said earlier in the podcast, it is positionless basketball. So you can put anyone, anywhere. Any closing thoughts, Gio?
I would agree. Skill wise, he is a 5, but body type, he plays at the 3. So we'll just see what happens. Either if he gains weight, he'll play at the 5. I personally think if he doesn't gain weight, they're gonna have him play at the 3.
It's fair. All right, that's a wrap. Gio, you got a segment?
Yeah, going back to the Bryant family, right, and the Bryant estate.
Mhm.
Today was a great day, and the jury awarded Vanessa Bryant $16 million in the suit over Kobe Bryant crash photos. So that was great today, and especially since it was on Kobe Day. I don't know if that was on purpose or not, being released on Kobe Bryant Day, but that very thankful that happened, and now hopefully um his crash can settle a little bit easier with that family, knowing that they did win that, right? So congratulations to them.
Shout out to LA for that. I think Vanessa deserved to win that.
Sure.
What the deputies did was wrong,
Mhm.
but that's in the past now. So I'm glad that Vanessa ended up winning that, and
Yep.
hopefully it brings more peace to her and her family and her oldest daughter Natalia, especially. But in the video game world, there's not much going on. So obviously, NBA 2K23 comes out in about 2.5, 3 weeks. Looking forward to that one. And it was announced that if you're interested, you can make a WNBA player in that game for your My Career. So if you like WNBA more than NBA, I suggest that you get this and try that out.
For music, since it's Kobe Day, I'm taking kind of a similar approach. I was gonna shout out Lil Wayne, especially his song Kobe Bryant. I think it's a very nice mention to Kobe. I think it's a nice verse. It's a nice song. So I'm gonna go with that song.
All right. Thanks for watching and keep racking up the views.
Yes, please. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, we were kind of lacking on this last episode. We need some more likes, please. But only if you like. And then if you're really feeling generous, make sure you answer Gio's question from earlier in the pod. Personally, I think it was me with my eyes. And most of all, make sure you drop a Gio.
Hey guys, make sure you guys subscribe because we like all the views and all. But if you guys subscribe, you guys can watch the next one easier. All right, we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Peace.
Thank you.